here, and these are the criteria. Must have a keyword of Iceland, must have a rating 4 stars or greater, and must be in the collection called portfolio. All 3 things must be true. So anytime I lower the star rating below 4 stars, they just disappear out of here. Anytime I move it out of my portfolio to decide it's not good enough for my portfolio, it disappears from here. So that sounds a lot like a normal smart folder, but the difference here is there's a button in the upper right called Publish. If I hit the Publish button, it's now going to take all those images, and there's a progress bar up here in the upper left, and it's scaling them down to the size that I specified. Do you remember I typed in the resolution of my iPad mini? It is changing their file names if I told it to do that, or any of the other settings that I applied. And keep going. These will slowly disappear as they get published to that folder, and you'll see it separated into folders to publish and ones that are already published. Just wait for it to finish. And what's nice about this is right now it's saving all those images on my hard drive into the folder that I mentioned. But in the future, if I make changes, this will remind me that I've made changes and will allow me to update it. Let's say I decide to crop an image differently, or I decide I need to do noise reduction on one of the images, or any kind of change I want to make to it. When I make that change, if I come back here and look at this published folder, it will remind me that those particular images have changed, and I might want to re-upload them. So let's see what happens if that finishes. Just got 2 more. What I'm going to do is go back to my portfolio, and within the portfolio, I'm going to go back to, oops, I'm going to change one of these images. I can do it either here, just viewing them, or anywhere that I find them, like here in that thing, anywhere at all. Could be that I'm just in my folder structure or anything. I'll click on one of the images, I'll hit the Develop module, and I'll say I want more shadow detail in here. So I'll come up and say, well, it looks like this was created with the older version of Lightroom. Might as well update it to the newer process. I'll come over here and grab my shadows, bring it up, get that shadow detail. Maybe I want a little clarity. Maybe I want to grab the adjustment brush and paint in my highlights getting a little brighter. Put that right where the waterfall is. Since the waterfall was in the shade, getting the highlights to be a bit brighter might make it stand out a little bit. Right, that was just the adjustment brush, and I was telling it to bring up the highlights. So I've made a change to this image. That was one of the images, I believe, that was in that set of images. If I just double check that the rating is high enough that it would be included, it is. Let's now go down here to the Iceland portfolio under the choice called hard drive. And now it tells me, hey, this image has been modified. It doesn't reflect what is stored in that Dropbox folder that I told it to go save my images to. And so you'd need to do something to update it. The old one would be down in here, and if I hit publish, it's now going to resave that out and replace the older version of it on my hard drive. You can do the same thing on Facebook, the same thing on Flickr. If you update the picture, when you come back to that service in here, you'll find that up above it'll say modified. If you hit publish, it's going to update that picture for you, and it's really nice. In fact, if you do this with Facebook, you can even go and see if somebody's commented on your photo. If you ever view your photo in the library, on the right side, for any photo, under, let me collapse down the keywords, there's a choice for comments. And if you had a picture that you'd uploaded to Facebook and somebody had commented on it, if you were to click on that picture, the comments can appear here. And if there are comments, you'd even be able to type in a response right there in Lightroom. So I might do that a little bit later on. Unfortunately, it wasn't logged into Facebook when I set this up, and I'll come back to that just to show you the comments part. So published services I find to be really nice because